Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to discuss about one of the five topics of geology for civil engineers, and it is general geology. Objectives: to provide detailed information in which we, the reporter, should give a relevant and a trusted source of information. Number two, to present data effectively, which we, the reporter, or the data should be shown in our PowerPoint presentation. Third, to entertain questions and provide a valid answer, in which questions will be entertained by the reporter of that certain topic. Number four, or the last one to be, is to fully grasp the essence of the topic, in which we, the reporters, and as well as the listeners, should fully understand of what does geology means or what does general geology means. Table of contents. Listed topics will be reported by those names below. Geology and civil engineering and branch of geology will be reported by me or Deloso. Earth structure and composition will be reported by De La Cruz. Elementary knowledge on continental drift and plate tectonics will be reported by Miss Colling. Earth process will be reported by Chu. Weathering will be reported by Dragon. Next will be work of river, wind, and sea, and their engineering importance will be reported by De Leon. Origin, occurrence of earthquake will be reported by De La Torre. Mode of occurrence will be reported as well as by Mr. De La Torre. Prospecting will be reported by Ms. Castarilla. Groundwater will be reported by De Vera. And the last one is the importance in civil engineering, which will be reported by Mr. Claveria. Prelude. Since geology is a vast major topic and it has a multiple meanings in it, so now let's dig in. Geology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, zoology, botany, construction, mining, and other engineering. Geology, the history of the earth, its combination of the soil, rock, and water, and the science of studying evolution, in which it is very essential to study geology because we study about the full or the fundamental aspects of the solid earth, and that's why we have the geological engineering. Geological engineering provides the use of geological data for practical engineering purposes, in which it is a massive help for us as a engineering student, which provides us a details about that certain area, about a certain project, for safe and stable management. And just what is geology? Geology is an earth science concerned with solid earth, the rocks of each which is composed and process by which they change over time. Geology can also include the study of the solid features of any terrestrial planet or natural satellites such as Mars or the Moon. A modern geology significantly overlaps all other sciences, including hydrology and the atmospheric sciences, and so is treated as one of the major aspects integrated Earth system science and planetary science. And that's why geology is very essential because it talks about the solid earth, rocks, and as well as the any terrestrial planet, which could help us as a civil engineering aspirants in our future career. Quote: Engineering is the art of directing the great sources of power in nature for the use and convenience of man, by Thomas Treadgold. So it is basically applies that being knowledgeable in nature is the key to our engineering life and can establish a great foundation. General geology. General geology is a survey of many facets of geology and earth science, from the formation of the universe and solar system to rocks and minerals to geological processes and hazards. In line with that, those mentions from the definition itself, like geological processes and hazards, will be reported by the next reporter and later be discussed. And now, let's move on from one of the topic of general geology, and it is geology in civil engineering. Scope of geology in civil engineering. It is defined as that of applied science which deal with the application of geology for a safe, stable economic design and construction of civil engineering project. So, as we all know that geology and civil engineering is essential because geology is the study of solid earth, which includes the rock forming earth and how they are being distributed in their constituents. And that's why Learning geology will be a great help when doing that civil engineering project. The basic objects of the course in engineering geology are twofold. It enables a civil engineer to understand engineering implication of certain conditions should relate to the area of construction, which is essentially geological in nature. And as what I've mentioned before, that geology is universally essential because if you know what is geology means and have already studied about it, as a civil engineer or as a civil engineering aspirant, when you're surveying a certain area, you already know of what will be the implication of that area just because civil engineering project is connected to nature, and you already know what does it implies or what does um, the future outcome of that area. It enables a geologist to understand the nature of geological information that is absolutely essential for a safe design and construction of civil engineering project. And if you're wondering what is geologist is a professional which deals with or which study with the liquid, solid, and gaseous matters that constitutes the earth, which is geology is the study of earth, the materials of which it is made, the structure of those materials, and the effects of natural forces acting upon them, and is important to civil engineering because all work performed by civil engineers involves earth and its features. So, in a simple manner, it basically tells that geology is connected to civil engineering project because civil engineering project talks about the earth and its features because geology also studies about the solid earth and its natural forces on how it works, and as well as about the details of rock and soils. Role of the engineer in the systematic exploration of site. Preliminary investigation using published information and other existing data. This basically tells that you need to refer on a trusted data. Number two, a detailed geological survey of the site, possibly with photogeology study. Photogeology study is a geological study or a geological interpretation of aerial photographs. Number three, apply geophysical surveys to provide information about subsurface geology. This basically tells about the information of the physical properties and the location of the rocks and soils found below the ground. Number four, boring, drilling, and excavation to provide confirmation of the previous results and quantitative detail at critical points on site, and testing of soils and rocks to assess their suitability, particularly their mechanics of properties, soil mechanics and rock mechanics, either in situ or from sample. Situ is on site. This basically tells that you need to excavate deeper in order to provide the concrete details of the soil or rocks within that area. Now let's go to the branches of geology. Main branches of geology: physical geology, geology mineralogy, geology, geophysical structure, geohydrology, geochemistry, paleontology, economic geology. Allied branches of geology: engineering, mining, petrology, geology, and stratigraphy. Physical geology: different physical features of the earth such as mountains, plateaus, valleys, rivers, lakes, glaciers, and volcanoes in terms of their origin and development. Natural phenomena like landslide, earthquakes, and weathering. Geological work of wind, weather, rivers, oceans, and groundwater in their role in constantly molding the Earth's surface and features. The different changes in occurring the Earth's surface like marine transgression, marine regression, formation and disappearance of rivers, springs, and lakes. This basically tells all about the physical features of the Earth because geology talks about the solid Earth and its physical features and natural forces. Mineralogy. This deals with the study of minerals. Minerals are basic units with different rocks and ores of the Earth are made up of. Details of mode of formation, composition, occurrence types, association, properties, uses, etc. of minerals form the subject matter of mineralogy. This basically like a quartzite and marbles because they are like one another in shine, color, and appearance, while marble disintegrates and decomposes due to its mineral composition and its physical properties. So mineralogy deals with the study of minerals. Petrology. Petrology deals with the study of rocks. The Earth's crust, also called lithosphere, is made of different types of rocks. Hence, petrology deals with the mode of formation, structure, texture, composition, occurrence, and type of rocks. This is the most important branch of geology from the civil engineering point of view because it deals with the study of rocks, which is very essential from the geology itself. And as what they know that the lithosphere is composed of Earth's crust and the upper mantle. And the mode of occurrence been mentioned here will be reported by Mr. De La Torre later on in the mode of occurrence and origin of earthquake. Structural geology. The rocks which from the Earth's crust undergo various deformation, dislocation, and disturbance under the influence of tectonic forces. The result is the occurrence of different geological structures like folds, fault, joints, and unconformities in rocks. Basically, structural geology is how the rocks are being deformed or being dislocated due to the plate movement, just like Pangaea as a supercontinent, and now it has a seven continents due to the plate movement that caused to deform the Pangaea. Stratigraphy. The climatic and geological changes, including tectonic events and geological past, can also be known from this investigation. This kind of study of the Earth's history through the sedimentary rock is also called historical geology. Basically, stratigraphy is somewhat similar to the structural geology because it also caused by tectonic events to this being dislocated and deformed, while stratigraphy is solely based on sedimentary rocks, and that's why it's called stratigraphy as a strata, which is a set of sedimentary rocks. And sedimentary rocks is a composed of pre-existing rocks and as well as composed of a living organisms. So, economic geology. Minerals can be grouped as general rock-forming minerals and economic minerals. Some of the economic minerals like talc, graphite, mica, asbestos, gypsum, magnesite, diamond, and gems the details of their mode of formation, occurrence, classification, association, varieties, concentration, properties, uses from the subject matter of economic geology. These primarily concern that with the Earth's material that can be used through economic and or industrial uses like minerals and base metals. Engineering geology. This deals with the application of geological knowledge in the field of civil engineering for execution of safe, stable, and economic construction like dams and tunnels. These concern with the geological knowledge that deals with the problem of civil engineering project. Mining geology. This deals with the application of geological knowledge in the field of mining. A mining engineer is interested in the mode and extent of occurrence of ores, their association, properties, etc. It is also necessary to know other physical parameters like depth, direction, inclination, thickness, and reserve of the bodies for efficient utilization. These basically add extra measures in order to provide a safe and stable management in the mining field. And that's geophysics. The study of physical properties like density and magnetism of the Earth or its parts. To know its entire form from the subject matter of geophysics, there are different types of geophysical information investigation based on the physical property utilized gravity methods, seismic methods, and magnetic methods. Geophysics used to provide information from the Earth's physical properties from its surface and subsurface. Geophysics help to locate about the hydrocarbons, minerals, and other resources. Geohydrology. This may also called hydrogeology. It deals with the occurrence, movement, and nature of groundwater in an area. It has applied importance because groundwater has many advantages over surface water. In general, geological and geophysical studies are together taken up for groundwater investigation. These primarily concern of finding out the movement of water in nature and water surrounding with soil and rocks together. geochemistry. This branch is relatively more recent and deals with the occurrence, distribution, abundance, mobility, etc. of different elements in the Earth's crust. This basically a chemical composition of and chemical changes of solid matter of the Earth and understanding of Earth's system. And that's all my report in this general geology.